Yesterday, I made a video about the man in Panama who shot an activist who was blocking the road. And I was not overly nice to the deceased. And I just have to state that I recognize that this feeling that I had was not one that is good for humanity. Unfortunately, I do believe that even though I've had this realization, I had it at the time, of course we all know it, but there's a building animosity versus those that want to control our actions, that want to deny us our liberty and freedom. And this is the wellspring where this man, who likely had not felt the brunt of stoppages for hours from activists as an individual, we've all seen it on the news or spoken to somebody who it's affected directly. And many of us are growing tired of it. And for whatever reason, this was the breaking point for this individual who then went and shot two of the activists in order to free up traffic. I understand where the anger would come from. Obviously, I don't approve of his solution, but I have to tell you that this is the way that many people are feeling with a two-tier justice system where individuals that try to protect New York City subway goers. For example, just the other day, there was a man who fired warning shots at a man who was mugging a woman, and he was the one arrested, not the man who was mugging the woman. They are protecting the criminals. It's the same thing in San Francisco, where it's totally okay if you go and smash somebody's window, break in and steal everything there. They can even track it because some of the bags had those Apple trackers in them, and they knew where the bags were taken, and the cops don't even go in there. It's like off limits for them or something. I read this in one San Francisco website that covers the city. And if you are an Uber driver and you park while picking up somebody for a couple of minutes illegally, they throw a $150 ticket on your windshield. They reward dystopia. They destroy the hard worker. And it's just the two-tier justice system where people are able to prevent you from getting anywhere because they are exercising their right to express themselves, their First Amendment right to protest, but you don't have the right to prevent others from getting where they want to go. I don't know why they think this is going to help their cause. It certainly does not make me have a positive association with it. And many people are feeling more and more anger towards these people. And that is exactly what created the straw that broke the camel's back, in all likelihood, that this 77-year-old Panamanian man went and shot the activists. And I certainly hope that they stop doing this, but I don't think that they have the brains. I mean, these are the same people that go into museums and throw red paint on masterpieces, even if it's protected with glass. Last time they brought a hammer in and were hammering away at a great piece of art. These people are destructive, and regardless of their cause, it doesn't gain societal goodwill towards them when they do this. But nevertheless, the point is that there's growing resentment from society towards these activists, towards the government. And when you see in London all of these people deciding that on November 11th, tomorrow, that they are going to hold a 1 million person protest in favor of Palestine. In other words, Hamas chanting from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which is essentially a call for the obliteration of Jews.
Are you people dead? Are you people dead? Yes. Oh, good. Good. Are they dead? Oh, good.
That there will be a one-state solution, that solution will be the Arab people, and they will be free of Jews. Because in the charter of Hamas, you are not allowed to have Jews anywhere. Just as an example, the Jewish state, when they evicted all the Jews from the Gaza Strip, gave 3,000 greenhouses to them, and so that they would be self-sustaining in terms of food. And Hamas promptly destroyed them because they want no goodwill to go to Israel. They don't want to owe Israel anything. And it was a slap in the face if they were to take generosity from Jews. That's why it's in their charter that they must obliterate Israel. The point being is when you have people that are cheering for Hamas using this slogan and chant. They are
from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea.
pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas. That is the reality. And they are doing this on Remembrance Day, which is the day where the British honor the veterans that died defending the country in World War I and World War II. It is intentionally chosen, and it is a clash of civilizations and ideas and norms and ideologies. And the British police right now are not enforcing the law. They are not arresting people that actively call for the killing of Jews, but they arrested an MP in Britain who was insulted by a man from Bahrain, and he told him to go back to his country. That was deemed racist according to British speech law, and he was arrested. But they do not arrest those who call for the killing of Jews, or those who espouse that the whole Palestine, that all of Israel should be free of Jews, and that Hamas should be allowed to take over, or openly supporting Hamas. This is a terrorist organization that, according to British law, you are not allowed to give support to, but they are not enforcing the law because it is politically incorrect or because they're outnumbered. And at some point you will see that there will be a war between Englishmen and those immigrants that are very opposed to the liberal ideas which the state of England created way back in the Magna Carta. And there will be a clash, a war between them. And the police will go around arresting the English people like they told those who were holding British flags at the protest in favor of Hamas, that if there's going to be any trouble, you're going to be arrested for racism, to those who are merely holding the British flag. Or how they removed Billboard Chris when the leftists hit him in the head with one of their flags, because he was the one who was causing a disturbance to the peace. A man sitting there peacefully. And again, it goes back to the idea that eventually people are going to be so fed up with the double standard that if their spirit hasn't been entirely squashed, if they haven't been completely demoralized, as is in the Soviet playbook, as described by Yuri Bezmenov, the KGB officer who defected and has been warning about this, or at least his tapes have, since 1983. This is demoralization, and I certainly don't want to live with a group of people that want Israel destroyed, that can come in as guests, as immigrants into a better nation. And yes, Britain is a better nation than most of the Middle East, and I've traveled throughout the Middle East. I've been to Syria, UAE, Turkey, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, and I can tell you that Western countries are absolutely superior in what they offer their citizens in terms of freedoms, in terms of the ability to speak, in terms of opportunity and medical care. And I have to warn you that violence is going to be the precipitate of the polarization that is going on in the West. And we're seeing it already with the activist shot, and we'll probably see it in Britain or the United States against these Hamas activists, other than the fact that the police will probably protect them the same way that they let them put their bloodied hands all over the White House gates and try to climb it. I'm a little bit disgusted, but I don't know. This is not going to be an easy solution, and unfortunately not one without violence, as is demonstrated by the activist being shot in Panama. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Peace.